What's up everybody, my name is Ty, but you can call me Tyski. If you're new to my channel, I'm a content creator that likes to be a full-time YouTuber, growing my progress of becoming that, and working very hard to getting myself into the film industry, whether if it's going to be freelancing or if it's going to be within the industry. As you can tell, we're obviously not in my room, we're actually in Palm Desert. I'm on vacation right now, so I figured as when you're going places, you can use these quick tips to help tell your story when you're going out. So this is the importance of B-roll, and this is how you should use B-roll when telling a story. So where did the term B-roll come from? Well, it came from the fact that you have an A-roll. So what is an A-roll? An A-roll is just your main video that's on your timeline to where you start off when you start videoing or when you're doing your edits. For example, me sitting down right now would be considered the A-roll because this clip is going to be the longest clip that I'm going to be having to edit, and I'll show you right within the timeline. That timeline exactly is the reason why that's considered A-roll. But however, the one that's on top of that timeline would be considered B-roll, which is just extra fillers for the shot that maybe your A-roll could be explaining, or you're either doing something that's related for that B-roll to happen in that way. Now, when you have an A-roll that's just set, meaning that's going to be your main shot of what you're doing, it's pretty easy to do B-roll if you take things from your A-roll and take the reference of maybe what you said, maybe what might be doing, and you're trying to connect it and trying to relate it with the B-roll. So within the first clip of when this video started, you can obviously tell this is a new place and it's just a nice scenery. However, if I didn't do that and I just showed this clip right now, it's like, you're obviously not home, what's going on? Granted, that's why I made the clip for you guys, so you can see it, what this whole B-roll thing is all about. So I just want y'all to keep in mind, if you are trying to film a story here and you're trying to connect several things together, that's really the importance of B-roll, because you just want to make sure that whatever your main objective is, rather if you're traveling from point A to point B, having B-roll of what you did between point A and point B is exactly your objective. I think I should go sesh. I think I should go sesh. That's just a quick example on how I got there, so you can only imagine that if I didn't show any of that B-roll, it's so confusing. It doesn't make any sense, right? And for some of you guys that are very new to this, when it comes for B-roll, don't even try so hard to make it look cinematic. Honestly, if you just want to go ahead and point and shoot and just get the main idea about what you're talking to or what you're explaining, that's also simple too. The way how I see it, when you're first starting off, getting B-roll is important. Yes, that is true. However, that's the time when you can get creative, or if you're just trying to tell something quick, you can just get the shot, get what you need, and then you might be out. You never know too, because sometimes B-roll doesn't even need to be that long. So you want to be careful not to use it too long, because overusing it can just make your video a lot more harder to watch because it's either too long. However, if you just go ahead and shorten it to the right pace, or even do it within towards music or just the talk about what you're talking about, it's always better that way. Now I'm gonna list some tips out, but before I do that, I want to thank my sponsor, SparkBuzz. Yes, I actually have a sponsor. SparkBuzz is an app that just allows content creators like me to have a platform where we can post all of our contents and without the struggles of hard algorithm. SparkBuzz was really made for content creators that do struggle on beating the algorithms like other platforms out there that really put your stuff at the lowest and successful people at the top and keep them at the top. top. With Spark Buzz, you won't get into that scenario. You'll have a fair chance, and it's definitely easy to use. The app is currently going to drop within this month, so stay tuned for the release of that, but when it does, I will explain more in details about Spark Buzz. If you made it this far to the video, I would definitely appreciate a like and a comment, maybe some discussions, and you can go ahead and share, because that's going to also help the algorithm of my channel to create more content for you guys. Okay, so here's some tips that I think that'll be best when you're doing B-roll. The first tip I recommend is, if you do have an A-roll, base your B-rolls off of your A-roll. Meaning, if you spoke about something or if you're trying to verify something, go ahead and get the clip of that. Here's an example. I'm editing, and this is pretty much all I'm editing right now. Like, this whole timeline is looking pretty good, so looking forward to the edit that you guys are watching currently right now. Now let's try that one with the B-roll added, and you tell me what's better. Here's an example. I'm editing, and this is pretty much all I'm editing right now. Like, this whole timeline is looking pretty good, so looking forward to the edit that you guys are watching currently right now. Perfect. So it's kind of obvious, right? The second tip I definitely want to give is have a little bit of foreground, or at least something to be behind of. See, if you're just shooting in the wide open, it can work. If that's what your purpose is to do for the B-roll, it can work. However, if you're doing some movements and it's also no foreground, it just doesn't look great. Movements with foreground looks way better. As you can tell the difference between these two clips, I would prefer the foreground. Foreground just means you need something to level up. So like this table wasn't here, it would look weird because you would see that I'm far and you would think, why are you this far? But when you have something like this, you have some depth. So if you can get some depth here, then you would have a nice look to show how far you really are to somewhere. The last tip in B-roll I would have to say is, when it comes to editing, maybe don't put so much transitions. You don't really need to do a lot. You could put several, but again, you just want to make sure you balance the level between it being static shots, rather if it's still, or if you want to do movement shots, so it's kind of moving, panning up and down. B-roll shots consist of getting random clips of someone driving, you getting in the car. As long as there's movement involved and a little bit of stills, and you just mix them time to time, you should get seamlessly B-roll, super simple. And if you stick to those tips, that should be simple enough. Now, I know I could explain this video more into details, but I just want to give this video a try, because therefore, at the beginning of my YouTube channel, it's going to be a lot for me to grow my channel, considering that there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to learn certain things. So I'd rather just test the field right now before I explain things into major details. There's going to be a part 2 on how to do B-roll and all that stuff, etc., and the importance of it, but just wait for that, because I think if I spread my content a little bit more, there's more to learn, and it's just easier to work with that. So that's pretty much going to be the end of this video, but before we go, I do like to say a thank you to my homie, Jay Illa. He made my intro and outro and part of my mid beats depending on what I use. He's another content creator that likes to make music. He's a producer, and he actually makes these fly, dope b-boy beats. He's one of the illest b-boys I know. I personally know him, so I'm very thankful for him making me this intro and the outro, and with some of the music in between. So check his page out, link in the description below, or even the IG title page right there. Alright guys, that's about it for this video. I hope this was either helpful or entertaining in any sort of way, but if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification, hit that like button, and also drop any comments for the discussion. All of this would definitely help the algorithm of my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.